You would have thought that my family was normal. Growing up, we had an extremely dysfunctional family. The atmosphere was just riddled with abuse and terror. My stepfather was physically, emotionally, and mentally abusive to not just my mother, but to me. He and my mother had gotten into a really bad argument. I was outside the house whenever I heard the sounds of screaming and what I thought was a door slam, which ended up being a gunshot. Running into the house, I found my stepfather over my mom's body, and in terror, I ran out and ran to my neighbor's house to call 911. During that time of my life, I was very quiet. I didn't talk to very many people. I was terrified of being outside around groups of people. And even at night, I would have night terrors and just wake up just terrified of the world. It was really difficult for me to make friends. My family didn't understand me. My sisters didn't understand me. It felt like there was no one else that could help me through what I was going through. And I needed someone to rescue me. I needed someone to understand me. I needed someone to reach out and guide me or love me in some kind of way that no one could do physically in those moments. I had to go through that alone. At least it felt like I was alone. And then things changed. Things changed for the good. And I started coming around people that understood depression and anxiety. They weren't scared of the story, the trauma that I went through. And they were willing to walk with me every step of the way and built community around me. And I could see my life changing. It was everything that I was looking for. They invited me to Grace Chapel, where I had multiple conversations about who Jesus was. And as I grew in relationship with Christ, I was able to have the sense of knowing that I'm not alone. And so when I went to summer camp with the youth group at Grace Chapel, Pastor Jonathan asked me if I would share my testimony with 500 people on stage, and so I did that. And what I noticed was I felt so much relief being able to share my story with so many people out there. I didn't feel alone at all. I felt like people actually understood and felt that they felt hope, and that they felt that miracles can happen in their life, that they could actually have something to look forward to and not feel stuck in whatever pain that they're in. It was then that I realized that God was with me, and He was with me then when my mother went to be with Jesus. God showed me a glimpse in those moments that the story that He has given me is not just for me to hold on to, it's for me to share. So now, 20 years later, I'm here at Grace Chapel pursuing my degree in counseling so I can help others overcome their trauma. My story, it could have gone so drastically the wrong way. Do I still have moments where I break down and cry and miss my mom? Absolutely. Do I have moments where I think about those days? Yes, I think about them, but it's not crippling. I don't have the night terrors and the nightmares. I can actually go in a crowd and feel excited to be around people and talk to people and be encouraged by others. But most of all, I have so much joy and so much hope that I'm going to be able to see my mother again in heaven. And so when I say I'm healed from my trauma and my PTSD, I'm truly healed from my trauma and PTSD, and it's all because of Jesus.